Hey, I'm Weekend Gabe, and you're checking out Weekend at Gabe's, and thanks for checking out this latest episode. While you're here, also follow us on these social medias at Weekend Gabe, at Weekend at Gabe's, and also at The Real Sam Crane. Thanks for checking us out.
Yeah.
We're going to set real quick. You're checking out Style Week here on Weekend at Gabe's. I'm Weekend Gabe, the real Sam Crane to my right. Don't forget to follow us on these social medias at Weekend Gabe, at Weekend at Gabe's, and also at the real Sam Crane. Next up is a friend of the show, also my co-host on the Dad Show, which we have a pending show coming up in just whenever it's going to drop. I'm not sure when, but hopefully sooner than later. But friend of the show, the Pugs Atomz. He's with us right now. How are you, sir?
What's up? What's up? What's up, man? How you feeling? I'm feeling good. Yeah.
I'm playing the clip of your my favorite song of yours, for real, for real. You know this.
Yeah, man, that's a classic right there, bro. I got my full Martin on in that joint. Yeah.
You and Audacity are phenomenal together, and you know that. But thank you for joining us here on Style Week, man. When we were putting together a guest list of people that I know, you were the first person to come to mind because of your talent, your repertoire, your skill level of being involved in almost every part of putting anything out, from the inception to the creation to the design, the execution, the marketing, everything you're hands-on involved with that. Take me all the way to the beginning of when Young Pugs was like, I want to create shit and I'm going to do it really, really well.
I mean, I'll probably be at the beginning, man. Like, I used to take my mom's potatoes and make like football players out of them, man.
Really?
Yeah, because they didn't really have like crazy like sports toys as a kid.
No.
That came later, and then a lot of those didn't really move. So like my G.I. Joes, I put like curlers on them for like the chest pads and have them running, and I build like boxing rings with like shoe boxes and all of that. So I mean, I was early, just in it, just trying to create the things I wanted to see. For me, design that's all it really is. I'm only making the stuff I want to wear, or the stuff that I can't find again, or a shirt that I lost and I can't ever get it made again. I'm just reliving those things and creating those things. Trying to make memories for other people. Because I know how I feel when I get a fresh pair of sneakers or this Ralph Lauren shirt. It's like, oh man, it's like whatever good times I had in it. That becomes part of the clothes.
Yeah. Was that something that was welcome, in the house? Because we usually, whenever a kid is doing something that's different, it's always met with some skepticism. But was that something your parents welcomed you exploring and trying to take items and do your own creativity?
Yeah, I mean, fashion was big in my house. I mean, my mom, like, she was a painter, but then also when she moved to Chicago, she became a buyer at the apparel center for different stores. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I was always going to, school with some stuff that's not out yet. And, kids looking at me weird, like, what's this? What's that? Later it'd be cool. But then, like, my grandma, she owned a lot of thrift stores. She owned, I think, 2 or 3 thrift stores on the south side here, and I worked in those. And, I mean, we would get, crazy stuff. I remember, like, probably the illest pull-up I ever had coming in there. She had, like, 7 North Face jackets. This, like, maybe 1987, 86, something like that. I had no idea what North Face was, but these were some cool-looking jackets, man, with a bunch of ski stuff all over it. And, it's just always for me the discovery. So, I mean, everybody in my family, they're in it, man. My dad, I used to always steal his jackets, and flex at school, that kind of thing. But, you got to be fresh. You got to be fresh. Yeah. But I mean, that's what really connected me with hip hop in the same sense, and I mean, that's kind of why I do all these things, because to me, it's just being hip hop. Hip hop, you would create your look, you create your style, you create your talk, you create your soundtrack.
Yeah. Did that feeling of having that new that something didn't have, is that what you chase after when you're conceiving a thought and imagining what it could look like or who could be wearing it? Is that a feeling that like, I want someone to feel like they've never seen this before?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm making stuff, I want people to be excited. That was probably the funnest part of having the Iridium store downtown, and dealing a lot of times with out of towners that have no idea what we're doing. and just their response of like, ooh, this should be in New York. Why is this in Chicago? You know, and that kind of thing. But, you know, it's definitely to make a moment, you know.
Yeah,
I want to
Stand
talk a
out.
little bit about your color choices, because there are these really bright, really like eclectic colors. What, let us in a little bit on your like philosophy when you go to create like a jacket like that, or even the piece of art behind you right now is like an example of that.
Well, you know, I'm a graffiti writer. That was like the first thing I really got into. You know, I took some painting classes as a little dude and entered a lot of contests and that kind of thing. So, I mean, color for me, you know, is very important. It's communicating. The colors are telling you what's going on. And, you know, to me, you know, the color a lot of times is the clothes. You know what I mean? You can have on any shirt, but the color composition, you know, is going to really speak to people. You know, something simple as this red, black, and green, that means something. But then with my logo on the joint, that kind of opens it up to other people as well, you know?
exactly. How did the style of the when you're evolving as an artist and also as an MC, so you're seeing on the ground level the formation of hip hop in Chicago taking place and the style that comes with it. How did that help shape where you wanted to go to this style of Chicago that was being formed in sort of the primitive days of Chicago hip hop?
Well, you know, growing up, I always was searching out hip hop. And to be, you know, quite honest, I didn't even know what it was called in the beginning of me searching for it. Like, I knew what it looked like. So as I would see things and meet people or see people, like I'm like, that's the thing. That's, you know, that's what I'm trying to touch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would kind of just soak those things up. But I mean, fat laces and the Adidas and the Pumas and the track suits. And then, you know, when denim became a really big thing, and then the preppy look, I think that's probably the time, like in the 90s, the preppy look is where I really took off, because it was something where you could talk your parents into buying it, but at the same time, you're getting the other thing that you want out of it, you know, of the flex, you know. But before that, I was super. I had all tons of sports jerseys and the ripped jeans in 7th and 8th grade. I cut them up myself, or, you know, jump a fence and rip it and land. We rocking with it, you know. But, you know, you take it in, you know. That's, I think, the power of the magazines at that time, you know. All the different magazines, you see what people are wearing, and that's sometimes the only time you would even experience it, because you didn't really know what store to go to. There's no website, you know, to find these things. So you're just kind of like cracking these codes, and, you know, stuff my parents would wear. I'm like, I like that. You know, where did you go get that at, Dad? And, you know, and get those cues.
That's funny that you mentioned like your style, your father had style and like something about him that he liked that was unique. I didn't have that. My father was like, it was
Can
just
you
like,
tell by Gabe's clothes that he didn't have that?
no.
Trade it.
It was like sports t-shirts or like just regular just plain color t-shirts. And that was it. So I could see why, like, how that influence is probably what would happen bad with me. So it's, you know, like, but how important was it to have that inside your home where you could talk with your parents about these things that seem trivial but they're important?
Well, you know, I don't think we really talked about it, to be honest.
Really?
It was just kind of like a thing. It's just natural, you know. Kind of like when somebody looks at you, you can kind of tell what they're thinking, how they feel about you, and that kind of thing.
Right.
And it was just more so in watching the choices, you know.
Yeah.
Each one of my parents had their own closet with, you know, all these clothes, you know. And my grandma, she had tons, you know, furs and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, just, you know, clothing to me is identity, you know. It's like a native people, you know, they're African, they're Japanese, you know, by subtle things within the garments that they chose or the colors that they chose, you know.
Yeah. You have the original Afrowear brand that's up, and so, you know, we were talking with our last guest that today marks the 1 year anniversary of the George Floyd murder. How, like, does this and we can bring it up in a second, but how does this line project into that the strength of Black Americans or Blacks who live in America? Like, is that what the motivation is?
Well, yeah, Afrowear, was started by Brian and Mustafa Rocks, DJ Mustafa Rocks. And I mean, their whole push was just, a pro-Black thing, but at the same time, being a voice that people didn't get to hear from, Like when I initially, talked to Mustafa and he's telling me like how he got his start, he was just drawing stuff and putting it on hats. And then, he got to deal with American Needle to make it bigger. And it was kind of like at the time, nobody else was even doing the thing that he was doing here in Chicago, and then to a point in other places. I mean, his hats were like on Martin and a bunch of other TV shows. And I mean, even now, like I still see that influence, in younger people that kind of don't know what the reference is, but they, are kind of following the style. I think the stuff now is a little more streamlined, a little cleaner than they were doing before, because before it was a little hand-drawn, kind of more graffiti-esque, type thing. But, it's definitely pushing an agenda that, Black clothes, need to be seen too. I mean, I loved Ralph Lauren, but one of my gripes, it was kind of like it didn't have anybody Black ever on a shirt, and I mean, like I spent like, thousands of dollars, on that brand, but I never really could see me in the brand. I mean, now it's come around where they're talking to people like me and collectors, etc., to push a unity aspect in the clothes, and they're changing the graphics to show Black people in it and other ethnicities. So I mean, that's really cool to see. But at the time, Afrowear definitely was speaking in a place that was empty. I mean, you only had like Cross Colors, Carl Kanai, and a few other brands that were really towing the line of pushing messages within the club.
Yeah, and I remember the controversy around Tommy Hilfiger, that he wasn't really designing his clothes for Black people, and that became the go-to brand for videos. It was almost alarming, for him, and I think that might have been a moment for like the Carl Kanais of the world to venture, like to step up and be like, no, like we're making our clothing for Black people to feel prideful in, and not have someone else designing things and then not appreciating the value that we're investing into their brand. And I think that might have been a pivotal moment for not just hip hop, but just designers and artists alike.
Yeah, I mean, that was a crazy time, man, because that really was, a push for a lot of independent brands. But, it ran into a problem because it was like all these, Black brands, Latino brands fighting for space in Macy's. Right. And it's kind of like, that's the point where you're like, we made it. But then it's like all these other people are kind of fighting for the same percent of the population. But I mean, I just think a lot of the upscale brands didn't really think about it, in a wise way of like, everybody spends, because it's really more about class than color a lot of times. If you have money, you're going to buy expensive things, if you're into expensive things. If you don't have money and you like expensive things, you're going to buy expensive things. It's just one of those, human nature in it. But
so pivoting a little bit off that, how does your, you talked about sort of design and it creating identity. What identity do you hope people find in your pieces?
Well, USUWE93.com. It's like I'm just kind of telling my story and the things that I'm into, the things that inspire me, and it's kind of like carrying from my music and from my paintings into the clothing arena, because I mean, oftentimes I work for a lot of other brands, but I'm designing what they want to see, whereas this is really, you're getting exactly how I see it and how I feel about things, and representing a lot of things dear to me from Chicago.
Yeah.
What I always loved about you, Pugs, in your designs, like the color abstract of the way you use colors, and it's just like there's and for someone like me who's colorblind, and I see the world a little bit different than everyone else. But the way you navigate the spectrum, it's almost this very welcoming way of wearing you're wearing the shirts and wearing the gear that makes it feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So I've always appreciated that about your eye. What is it about USUWE that you're looking to hope to achieve that you haven't done with other brands?
Well, you know, the name is us, you, we, so it means together, unity. You know, off top. So I mean, that's one of the things. You know, of
Right.
anybody can wear this. It's just really up to them to be like, ah, I'm gonna wear this hoodie, and not really think about it. You know, like I'm trying to really create things where you put it on and somebody's going to ask you about it, but you don't have to feel, you know, any way about wearing it. You're comfortable, you know,
Right.
wearing it in that sense. But just really, I would say it's an art brand. So really just pushing it as far as I can push it and really make it where my music, my art, my clothing is just one entity. It's just one thing. There's no all these, you know, dot, separate hashtag slash, you know, it's just, this is it.
So in that way, I had this question written down. Like, do you feel like it's more difficult to make new music or design? But what I'm hearing from you right now is that they're one and the same. You don't view them as different.
I've been doing all this stuff from the beginning. You know, like I remember one of my first T-shirts I ever made at home. With like literally went to the dollar store, found this magenta T-shirt, had this old Adidas. You know, when they used to do the really big graphics for sailing and volleyball and all that, cut out a big patch. Glued it to the shirt. I think it was Kanye West was playing the Park West. I was working for Power 92. We were doing the promo for it. So, you know, we're just up there kicking it and I have it on the shirt, not thinking much of it. Kind of hurt because it's glue. It's like, you know, this like late 90s, early 2000s or whatever. But then Don C, he walks up, he's like, bro, like, where'd you get that shirt? You know? So, I mean, for me, it's just, I'm always, you know, been at this, you know, in high school, you know, I would, you know, literally sell the shirt off my back a lot of times, or, you know, have other kids at other schools selling my old clothes, you know? So, I mean, it's just always, you know, been a thing. My grandma's thrift stores, I was working in there since like 7, 8, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just always just a natural thing.
Is that the biggest win for you as a designer when somebody stops you and says like, yo, where the fuck did you find that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big one. But then also like I enjoy, you know, other people wearing it, you know, seeing other people in their videos, you know, wearing it, you know, and TV shows with people wearing it, and, you know, regular people wearing it that have no idea who I am, but, you know, they really like that shirt, you know, and it's important to them.
Do you ever think of like how unique your story is? Because like there's kids who go through, you know, who never are around something that they end up falling in love with and making a career out of and are passionate about from the moment that they've experienced it. You know, it's like you've been able to from the moment that you were engaging with clothes or with style, with the marketing, every part of aspect of it, you've been able to adopt that into some element of your life and then learn from it and then adapt something else from it. You know, it's like there's almost this tree that just keeps growing more branches, and the Pugs Atomz experience is expanding into this broad tree with you know, and I think that's so fascinating that, you know, you're able to stay into this life and continue to make art and work out of it. Did you ever like reflect and think of like, wow, this is pretty unique and crazy from what a lot of other people are probably experienced in their lives?
No, not really. It's more so when other people say it, you know, you think about it. But I mean, for me, it's just kind of like, you know, if you make a decision of like, this is what I want, you know, I made that decision a long time ago of this what I want. So it's kind of like by any means to keep creating the thing that I want.
Yeah. I think
you know, but also not being afraid of change, you know, within it. You know, sometimes you're the conductor, sometimes, you know, you work in the back, throwing the coal in the caboose, you know, you got to just roll with where you're at, you know.
Absolutely.
There is really truly nothing Pugs Atomz can't do. Before we let you go, Pugs, help me with my closet. What do I need to get in my closet this summer? Or what do I need to
fix Gabe style summer 21?
Help me, make me made.
All you really need to do, man, is like just buy everything on USUWE93.com. But you know, I would say the most important thing, man, you need to find like, you know, 2 pairs of jeans that you feel fit you well. And then from that point, every pair of pants you buy are the same shape, same cut as those jeans. And then, like, you know, the hockey jerseys are making a big return. So get your one, man. Roll with that. I'm sure you already have
jeans
like
are the foundation. That's what I'm hearing.
But you need some good pants. Good pants, man.
I'm gonna go shopping with Pugs right now. Like, so I'm a bigger guy on the plus side of things. Like, what kind of colors should I stay away from? Which ones are warm towards my body? The curves in my body. What should I be looking for?
Okay, well, with USUWE stuff, you probably want to get the OG T-shirt. It's like an old school T-shirt, so it's a boxier fit.
Okay.
That would be perfect because it's gonna hide all that stuff. It's gonna hide all of that stuff. It's called a heavyweight tee. A heavyweight tee. That's what it's called on my site. So you want to buy all the heavyweight tees, and then also you could probably pull off the ringer tees because the ringer tees are cut a little bit bigger. So that's the joint with the red necks and the red sleeves. Those are cut a little bit bigger, so they're pretty forgiving. And then the cut and sew tee, that's like the one with the plaid on it, whatever, you know, a bunch of other designs like that. Those will work well for you as well because those are cut bigger as well. But you don't want any like super soft tees because they're just gonna hug every curve. You don't want that.
Yeah. We don't need the hug and the curve right now. Not yet.
Yeah. But I mean, you're in a good time because I mean, right now a lot of designers, you know, they're making oversized stuff, but then also the cuts wider. You know, well, becoming wider, I should say, right now.
Like, yeah, I find it's like I get the night shirt, you know, where it's too big and it's not comfortable. So,
yeah, but also a tailor, bro. Don't be afraid to go to the tailor, man. I mean, that's just the lady at the cleaners. Like, hey, let's get this right. Let's get this right.
Tip.
I've cut up many of shirts, man. So you know, fix my joint.
Or maybe I should just do some sit-ups. How about that?
Well, you can do both.
And then we lose Pugs.
Man,
he's back. Like he throws out the little jab and then he disappears. But now he's back. All right.
Your internet.
Yeah. So do sit-ups and then buy USUWE gear, and then I'm
both things. You know, but it takes time.
It takes time. You can't.
But I would say the biggest thing, man, just buy stuff that makes you happy, man. Like I'm not buying anything that's not making me happy, man. Try to impress. I'm not trying to impress other people. I just have my things that I find, you know, important, exciting, and I focus on those.
That's a great tip. Quickly before we get out of here, it's 9 o'clock. I want to respect your time. What's going on with the music? What can we expect for 2021?
Well, new label. I'm part owner of coming, and me and Brian Ford and a few other producers. Like we got a new I think it's like is it 6 songs or 9 songs, something like that. Little record coming soon. We're mastering it right now. But then me and Vadim, we have a bunch of new records. And me and Audacity, we have a bunch of new records, man. You know, man. Same old. It never changes.
Are you excited to be back on the stage? Are you guys looking forward to returning to the stage this summer?
Yeah, always like performing. I mean, it's weird for me though. Like COVID, I definitely did a lot of video performances. I mean, actually, this week I'm doing DePaul, a show for their graduation. You know, from the crib. It's trippy. A lot of Zoom raps. I'm about to call the project Zoom raps. I'm doing a lot of Zoom raps.
Well, all our guests who have been coming through, our artists that have been coming through, we've been telling them just keep us posted where they're performing so we can come out. We're anxious to get out, so we would love to come out and see you. You know, I always enjoy you and Audacity together. You guys are the best tag team duo in the city, I think. So I love it.
He said it. There you
go. I said you can put on a t-shirt, you know, then I'm with it. Yeah. Just not boxy though, because we said that boxy shirts.
Yeah, we said we weren't doing that.
Pugs, thank you so much. Keep a lookout, everyone, for the Dad Show. It's a cooking show that we did.
It's coming soon, and we cooked. We definitely
did,
and our children are in there.
They are. I didn't involve mine as the other 2 gentlemen in the show did, but you know, whatever. I did include them in some capacity.
No, your child was well mannered and respected your boundaries. My son was like, "Look, man, we're cooking. You're making pizza. I'm making pizza." Yeah.
My kids don't believe that I can cook, so they were just excited to see me try. So they were like, "Yep, that's cool. Like we're not gonna die today. That's great."
You got J. Arthur in your pocket now, man. So you got all the recipes from a master chef.
I know
Good
exactly.
to go. Yeah, shout out Foodie Network, man. You guys definitely go follow them. Go check out their website, their app, and all of that. And then definitely follow USUWE 93 at USUWE 93. Follow me at Pugs Atomz, any social media. USUWE, same thing. And go to my Bandcamp too. I have all the special clothes on Bandcamp. So like shirts that I only make a limited number of, jackets, bubble coats, sneakers, all that limited stuff is on my Bandcamp. And then you can buy music with it. And actually, you get free music with the clothes. So it's like a win-win.
There you go. You get dressed listening to Pugs Atomz, and what better way? What better feel and vibe before you go out do you need? It's fantastic.
I ran to get my sneakers because I was watching the other interview. I was like, oh man, they might ask me this. I'm like, this is a different kind of stuff right here.
If you got something you want to plug, man.
Really quick, do you got a favorite pair of sneakers? 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Oh, what is that? Oh my God, are those Pumas?
Is that a Nike
only Diodora?
Only Puma?
Only Diodora, man. That's the only sneaker I wear.
Wow.
But yeah, these are all Gons from I think 2011, 2012. Yeah, wow. Super rare. Yeah.
See, look, your shoe alone is blowing away my closet. So
man, you just gotta go to the store, bro. Go to the store. That's what you gotta do, man. You got
we need to go we need to make
man.
a segment so like shopping with Pugs, and then all Pugs just keeps throwing me stuff like try this.
Go for it, man. Go to Iridium. They have tons of sneakers, man. You got there's so many stores now that are into the thing. I mean, Leaders just dropped a new crazy Adidas high top. Really nice, clean colorway. Actually, that would be a good shoe for you. It's super clean, super just easy going, matches everything you own. No qualms. Or Forum. Yeah, Forum High. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll take a look into that this summer. How about that? We'll check back in with you and see how it's going.
Okay, cool, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
Pugs Atomz, enjoy your evening. We appreciate you doing this on Weekend Game. Don't hurt anyone. All right, good night. All right, that's gonna be our time here on Weekend at Games. What a fun jump off for Style Week.
Yeah, man, just an incredible energy here at Style Week. A lot of great tidbits. I think we fixed everybody's clothes. There's something in these 2 episodes for everyone. Everybody could learn a little bit.
Exactly. So I learned a little bit. Don't buy boxy shirts.
Don't do that.
And then just and then buy what makes you feel good.
Yeah,
what makes you feel good.
Absolutely.
All right, everyone. We'll be back on Friday. Who's joining us on Friday?
We got Trill Teo from the Ghetto Flower, and we're gonna do a little interview with him. He's got music, he's got clothes, and he's got plush toys as the new drop on the Ghetto Flower. So go check out their playlist, The Garden. Monthly playlist releases every month, and a lot of new records on there this month. So go check that out.
All right, phenomenal, man. We had a great show tonight. Super different. I think we're gonna have so much more fun on Friday. Trust me. Now that we know what we know. So everyone enjoy their evening, their Tuesday night, get through the week, and then we got the long weekend ahead. So we'll see you on Friday at 8 o'clock right here on Twitch TV on Weekend at Gabe's. Later.
Peace.
Hey, I'm Weekend Gabe. Thanks for checking out this latest episode of Weekend at Gabe's. Click on any of the links swirling around my head, and also hit the subscribe button while you're here. Thanks for checking out us here on YouTube.